IQ play.
Let's see here. We'll see what plays can be made. Final game of the night, JPV on your blue side, Imperium Pro Team on the red. We look to finish things off here for week 1 of our Philippines national qualifier.
With a bang!
We already had bangs, all right? We had bear slaps. We had a penta.
We didn't have any bear slaps. You know what he slapped? He bear slapped the turret once.
He bear slapped the turret.
He actually flashed in the bear slap the turret. That's an aggressive play.
That's a flash, and there's a 3-man stun, but the snare lasts so long on Morgana, still at level 1, and Imperium Pro Team find themselves a cheeky level 1 kill.
What a setup. Back when we had Saigon Jokers in the GPL, we used to see this all the time with Elise Jungle, Morgana, top, Caitlyn, AD carry. What you would see? Exactly that. You lock someone down with a binding, then you lock them down with a cocoon, and then you lock them down with a trap. The way we explained it was single target crowd control composition. It was the strongest pick comp we've ever seen because you run into them, immediately you get 20 stuns thrown at your face. Really well played come out from IPT. They burn 4 summoners for it though.
Yeah.
And look at this composition. Everybody has crowd control. Everybody. Everybody has some form of crowd control here today, Opal.
Yeah, you have Shockwave, you got the stun on the Renekton. It is going to get stunned. See, trades it right on back. Also going to be running the press the attack here on the Renekton as well. Top lane, 2 out of the ordinary otherwise.
I mean, press the attack makes a lot of sense as well because your W is always going to proc press the attack no matter what because it is 3 attacks. Crafting potions already being used by both LeBlanc as well as Orianna. You can see this is how Orianna's meant to play this. LeBlanc's going to poke you and deal a lot of damage. The way you lose that fight is if you just let her poke. You need to trade back. When LeBlanc jumps in and throws out her spells, you need to stand firm, trade back a few auto attacks, trade out a command attack, and go with that.
The bot lane, Cocoon, going to be dodged there by Jason, gets over to safety. Spiderling comes out to get a little bit extra damage, but not going to connect there.
That's Flash being burnt. The initial Dark Binding that came out of Morgana forced Vayne to flash away. So JPV, they not only lost their top laner very early on, but now Flash being burnt by the AD carry early into this match. It's also a barrier heal bot lane coming out from JPV.
This is, well, you're going very safe. You're putting everything pretty much onto this Vayne.
Yeah. And again, this Caitlyn pick should be able to chip away at these turrets. It's going to be very aggressive later in the match as well.
Here, again, another stun going to land. Gets straight back immediately. Fine Dance going to get an extra poke there onto Tyson. He's now run out of his pot, so only has that Villain's Blade to do.
And since IPT on the red side of the map, Caitlyn can put a cheeky trap to the top half of this turret. That's very difficult to spell. A lot of good players, experienced players, will know exactly where this is. You can position your camera site and see if it's there or not. But I believe Jason just stepped on one and took a chunk of damage from the other gun headshot. Good juke coming out from Orianna there.
Yeah, able to dodge away from the chain. Not able to get the full damage, though, from the command attack. And again, Bless just keeping up that pressure, forcing Long to have to back off.
Yeah, nicely played by Bless. Has to call the Elise over to make sure he can clear the wave without being threatened. Dive coming out from Bless. Gonna miss a few CS for this as well. They're missing quite a bit actually. But Bless was being aggressive, so he's not able to punish too hard when it came to CS discrepancy. He'll be about 7-8 CS up after this wave is pushed in.
That bot lane, though, you mentioned chipping away at the tower. They already gotten themselves 2 tower plates.
At this rate, if Lee Sin doesn't make his way down bot lane, that turret will be gone before 10 minutes. And that's exactly what you want to do with this composition. Because as soon as you do that, what they're going to do is they're going to send Maki as well as Fujo top lane. They're going to go up top lane where Irelia and Renekton are right now. Renekton is a point-and-click stun, so he'll just stun Irelia. And they'll call Elise up there as well. So they'll kill Irelia, and then they'll take top lane turret. And then they'll take Rift Herald, they'll immediately go mid lane, and then they'll take mid lane turret. So the onus is really on Lee Sin. Nini needs to get into the bottom lane or towards top side and either punish Renekton, who is being bullied quite hard by Speltz and Irelia, or stop this aggression that's happening bot.
See Nini trying to position, heading their way down to bot lane. I think it's just there as an emergency call because Jason's already taken so much damage here that might be looking for a back here soon. Then going to go ahead and go to Krugs, able to clear out a little bit of the wave. That pressure's Still gonna push on back here from the side of Marky.
And this is what makes picking Vayne super early incredibly difficult. Caitlyn Morgana is just going to counter it so hard in the early game. It's not that she's losing a lot of CS or dying a lot, but look at this turret. Turret plating is being taken so frequently by Caitlyn and Morgana. Look at that. One trap just behind the turret in the spot that's very difficult to see, and Shanna down to below half health points.
You also have the Elise coming down here just in case Nini actually comes by to try and pressure, because this is again going to be the third tower plate it's taken here.
This is perfect coming out from Elise. It's the right move. You need to be there because this is the time where Lee Sin has to do something. And if he can't stop this push coming in, that turret's going to fall so quickly. You can see how every time Jason steps forward, that's a shot in the face coming out from Caitlyn.
Another one.
Traps.
Jason's going to have to back off here. Nini actually spent about a minute down toward that bot lane and lost out on the big Raptor because now we have Spear that's gone into the jungle, applied some pressure. I feel like Nini's just kind of letting this happen.
Nobody can really go bot. Look, Bless is going to try and make his way down bot lane, but Rift Scuttle's going to spot him out, so he knows he can't go down there.
Spear is still waiting around because he's assuming someone's going to come down here, right? We're not getting this away.
The only thing that's really going to go wrong is Spear is going to lose a bit of experience. You can see Nini is a level ahead of the Elise, but he's not doing anything with this advantage. Tyson is now pushing back. He's already got the first back in.
Oh.
Bless can bully Orianna all he wants, but Orianna doesn't care. It's not Orianna's job to win this game. It's not Tyson's job to win this game. Their job right now is to stay even and stay alive. The players that are going to win this game right now are Marky, Spooger, as well as Elise. Marky and Spooger already have that bottom lane turret down to one plating. They're going to go back to base. Berserker Greaves BS Sword picked up to Berserker Greaves Longsword. That's how far ahead Caitlyn is.
Because on top of that, too, they got that first blood onto the Caitlyn. So came into lane with the dagger already completed. So an easy upgrade. And that tower's got maybe 2 minion waves left on it. And Jason and Shayna can't actually stay in that lane for much longer if they just tried to fight.
What I would like to see here is at least go back to base and then come back, help take down this turret once and for all. Make sure this turret is gone. Heck, throw Orianna down there. Get this turret done, and then swap them up topside. Swap the lanes, flip them on their head, push for more turrets. Let Vayne and Lulu take the bottom lane turret while they take topside. Go straight towards Rift Turret, which is going to spawn soon. Oh, about 10 minutes, I should say. Which will be about the time they rotate towards topside. And then break mid, and suddenly all the outer turrets are gone, and they control the game.
Nini is here, does have level 6 on the Lee Sin.
Who's there as well?
Also got Spear. Meanwhile, in mid lane, Bless not able to get the full combo off on to Swan. See their stun's gonna come on, and you also got the ace in the hole. Spear able to get back to safety. Jason wants to try and finish off the kill. At least flashes on forward, does find one, but what will it cost? Marky's on the other side of the wall. That's a little bit of a misplay here. Comes on over. It's gonna be a double kill. Jason, though, gets taken on down. It goes back in favor of Marky. Bless coming on over, wants to try and find themselves another kill. It's the Lulu applying the damage, able to find it, but Marky is still the one standing at the end of the day. Has red buff, is gonna continue to slow. Doesn't have flash, though, to close the gap. In the end, it will be a 2-for-1 in favor of IPT.
Look at how well Elise played that. Stayed in the bottom lane despite only being level 5. Elise doesn't need level 6, sir.
That was a 3. That was a 3-for-2 actually. That's 3 kills now on to Marky.
No ultimate required for Elise because it is Elise. Doesn't need an ultimate. Nini dies first. Great proactive play to be in the bottom lane. Flashes away. This is the mistake that was made. Jumps over the wall to get the extra damage from the net, so it doesn't mean he's auto-tapped the entire time, especially when there was no condemn available for Vayne. But despite the fact he made that mistake, this fight still goes heavily in IPT's favor. Remember, it's not about the kills they picked up. It's about the fact that this is going to get them even more pressure on the bottom side of the map.
That's going to be 3-4 as the kill count at 9.5 minutes up in top lane. Tyson going to use the ultimate. Spear's also here. Cocoon looking to try and predict the flash. I like the idea, Spear. Don't need to flash, though, if the Cocoon's not on yet.
Felt's playing that well. He waited for the Cocoon to see if he needs to flash and then flash. Very nicely played. You can see a lot of pro players would actually flash into that Cocoon because they'd see the animation come out and they immediately think, get me the heck out of here.
One thing for JPV, at least they got themselves 2 kills onto this Vayne. It's whether or not, though, if Imperium are going to be able to take that first tier tower in the next couple of minutes.
I don't understand what's going on with Lulu. She made her way towards top side of the map. You can look at the mini-map now. She's running all the way bot lane. And also, I don't understand. IPT could take the bottom lane turret, but they're being really passive. Maybe not knowing where Nini is, maybe not knowing where Lulu is. Trying to play this safe or trying to push for an even bigger advantage first. But I feel like this is the time for them to take that turret. Go down, knock it down, rotate top side to take the Rift Herald.
Just needs to crash that wave into the tower. See Marky's going to go up, get a ward down into the Tri-Brush. They're still being very cautious. They're trying to figure out where Nini is right now, but he's still spotted out by the ward on the Raptor, so they do know where the Lee Sin is currently at. Spear can also make their way down on the Elise if they want to. There's also an Ocean Drink for first elemental drink of the night for this game. Just trying, they're playing extremely safe here, Fish.
And they're not trying to give anything away. I think they're also going to try and take the dragon first to make it so when they do eventually rotate top lane, because that'll be the first team to rotate top. They can't give away a free objective. Punishing JPV even further. He's already trying to do just that. They've got good vision around this dragon as well.
Go ahead and start that one up. Bless once again in his mid lane, able to get the chain, but still, once you get that protect, Long can soak up some of this damage.
Yeah, Long playing this one. He knows exactly what to do. Bottom lane is called to try and help out with this dragon. You see, he wants to try and take it, but it's just secure. Nice and easy.
Gets on top of the Orianna. That's going to force at least the barrier out. Does end up using the ultimate too.
Take him away.
Trying to get the execute maybe. Didn't realize there was a barrier on the side of the Orianna. Not what they were looking for still. It's a 500 gold lead in favor of Imperium. A single kill, but they're now going to look to try and start snowballing that. They're in range of this next tower. It just needs one minion left.
Take a look at your mini-map though. This is why I wanted IPT to push down this turret faster rather than delay the inevitable. Nini's done the right thing. He knows Dragon's gone. Bot lane turret cannot be defended right now. Caitlyn as well as Elisa too far ahead. So he's gone over towards the Rift Herald and he's trying to take that. That means when Caitlyn does rotate towards top side of the map, they can't take top turret and then Rift Herald. They can only settle for one objective. That's proactive thinking coming out from Nini and really well played.
Nice pickup there. Be able to try and use that in their favor. Imperium not going to be able to necessarily run away with this one if they were able to pick up that second tier tower. We want to go ahead and clear out the wave in mid lane. Start to see our first items coming online. So with that early gold being injected onto Marky, opting in for the rapid fire cannon. Start to see some other components coming on in. Tiamat's on the side of JPV for the Aurelia and Lee Sin. So lost a chapter now for Bless. And he's still got that cut list completed for Jason, but he's been sitting on that for a while, so I think once he gets back, he'll be able to get that board.
Really smart move coming out from JPV as well. They see the spot. They send Nini bot lane. They say, you know what? Let's try and fight fire with fire. Let's push for these turrets. Let's take these down. Make it difficult for IPT to take free objectives. Nini even rotating around. Jason going forward. A bit overzealous.
But they do get all this turret playing for themselves, and they are also going to get the turret too. Shelly should have enough for another whack here if IPT don't look to rotate.
Now Jason should immediately go home. Go home right now and head top lane and try and defend that turret.
They're going to still push here. They want to try and get a second tier tower. It's such a slow push here coming out from IPT. Now the pings are going to start coming out. Might realize that they might be losing out on their second tier tower. Stun not going to land there from the spell shield. Vanguard's Edge going to jump on in. That's going to also force now stopwatch to come out. Orianna ultimate is available, but still in that mid lane. The Morgana is able to hold down the Aurelia. Just like that, Marky's going to get the kill too. Teleport was also used by Tyson. They got rid of that Rift Herald, so they should be able to get this push.
So I understand why JPV wanted to push one. Getting a Rift Herald charge is great. There's a lot of turret damage that you'd like to have. I think that was the wrong play. I think that once bot lane died, Nini, Jason, and Shanna should have immediately recalled home. Run straight to top lane and defend that top lane turret. Then use Bless to rotate over and look for the fight, because in doing so, you're mitigating the chance of teleports coming through. You're mitigating the chance of Elise being there, because you already know she's trying to defend top side from the Rift Herald. And you could try and swing this back in your favor. By committing Bless to that fight, With Spelt, I'm not even going to point out the micro mistakes they made. That happens. But overall, a teleport's going to come in. They're just going to disengage, and now they're so far ahead. 3 turrets taken down by IPT.
You get the gold, but you also just get that map control because you took that first tier tower in mid lane. You start to look to get pressure here. You also have another dragon that's going to be spawning up in another minute. Another objective they can set their eyes on. And Baron's still another 5 to 7 minutes before it's even considered.
This is the tricky part for IPT though. This is the part where a lot of teams get to, and then they make mistakes. All the outer turrets are gone. Rift Herald's gone. First Dragon's cleared. You have a gold lead for yourselves. This is where it can get tricky because the only real things to take now are outer turrets.
Oh, but if you keep picking up those quick mistakes from Shayna there, looking to blindly get some vision down on the brush. Nice job there, and they pick up the kill.
Surely you can, serving it up to the most silver plats is completely fine as well, Opal. I'm not against that. But the big mistake that a lot of teams make here is pushing way too hard for the inner turrets. It's not the time. Push the waves out, stay farmed up, and start denying jungle camps. That's what IPT needs to start doing. Take all the dragons, deny jungle camps, look for the big fights, while at the same time keeping a lot of pressure on your side lanes. You want so that when a fight takes place, your opponent not only loses the fight, but they also lose a side wave worth of minions. Or they lose a fight because somebody's taking a side wave worth of minions. You don't want to be caught pushing for a second turret this early into the match, because it's very difficult to do so.
Black Shield used pretty early here by Spooge, seeing that Marky could have been in trouble as Bless looked to try and get the quick poke on. Caitlyn's very powerful now. You also have that Infinity Edge now completed alongside that Rapid Fire. You're a full item almost ahead of this Vayne. They're going to try and go on in, over toward the well. Bless, it's going to be a steal coming down as they're able to take it away, but the Shockwave just cleans up along the side there. Cocoon, flash on forward, not going to connect. Forces the flash out of the Lulu. It's a Wind Dragon, but you gave up 2 kills. Is it worth here on the side of JPV?
Not at all, because now IPT can be able to march down mid lane and take the second turret. This is meant to be the hardest part for IPT, breaking the inner turrets. It's very difficult to break it this early into the match, but when you give away 2 kills like that, it's simple. On top of that, Nini hit Elise with the Sonic Wave. As soon as he came in with the follow-up, of course Elise is going to repel away. Bless tried to come in with a burst damage, well, of course Elise is going to repel away. So all the damage they were trying to put out into the jungler, completely mitigated.
On top of that, they set up this bot wave as well with the help of Tyson. They're going to try and rotate on over. Bless just going to try and distort, but almost gets caught there by the binding. It just gets caught out in general as Tyson rips them apart. And Marky's able to line up the shot.
It's the beauty of the point-and-click crowd control composition, is as soon as one person gets locked down by a stun, all the other crowd control sources follow through. Cocoon missed, binding missed, doesn't matter. Renekton just auto-attacks you and you're stunned as well.
See that push coming in, the siege onto the second tier tower. They took down the mid one, now rotated down to bot. They're going to add the 5th tower onto their scorecard. Now up over 5,000 gold before 20 minutes. Spelt's just trying to find something to take here.
It's difficult because the entire map is just being controlled by IPT. Now, 6,000 gold doesn't sound like a lot, but we're only 19 minutes into the match. Teams only have 30 to 35,000 gold. It's a significant percentage of the gold.
It's almost 20% when you look at 5,000 on 30.
This is meant to be the time where Caitlyn is weakest. But Caitlyn has a rapid fire cannon, an Infinity Edge, and a Zeal, looking for the second static shiv item. Caitlyn is well and truly online. This is almost late game for her. If she hits a crit on a squishy champion, they're going to have more than half their health immediately removed.
Top of that too, you step on one of these traps without knowing during a chaotic fight. It's always hard to keep track of them. They'll easily get chunked out here. Looking to set up their vision around the Baron. 20 seconds until it joins us. Up toward top lane, they just look to rotate. Next target, maybe the second tier tower and top.
Caitlyn's also great at taking objectives. She can stand still, fire off auto attacks when she's this far ahead. Those headshot passive shots are going to hurt so much. They're trying to siege the top lane inner turret. I like this if they have the correct wards to spot out players like Nini who are moving through. Maki with the traps as well, making it so difficult for them to rotate over. Strong proactive play coming out from IPT.
Try and come on over. That's 3 members as they are able to take it away. But Marky gets kicked to safety pretty much, able to flash over the wall. And Tyson just takes apart the Lee Sin. It's a trade 1-for-1, but you should have had more.
Oh my. Jason's not going to be happy with that play. Marky getting kicked to safety by Lee Sin. Everyone was about to pile on top of Marky. He was caught.
Now Marky still in some trouble here. Vanguard's Edge is able to help rip him apart. Jason's able to find the kill on the Vayne. Bit of a split push though as the Shockwave's going to connect into the Morgana snare, but they just can't do enough damage. The regen is there from the Cutlass. And just like that, they're able to find a triple kill on this
Baron
Vayne.
now. They should go to Baron right now. Spelt should start tanking it. Vayne should start doing it. That was poor form from IPT. I love the force. The force that came out from IPT there, where they immediately went towards top side of the map to try and take the final inner turret. That was beautiful. The traps would have stopped them, but there was no backup. Nobody else from IPT followed through. Nobody was there to help Tyson as well as Marky.
Tyson jumps into the pit, just trying to get on top of Spelts. Needs to get some safety though from that Orianna. It's not going to happen though. And Zalone's also going to get taken on down. That's a 450 shutdown going onto this Vayne. Likely just accumulated somewhere around 2,200 gold.
Oh no, Opal, that entire lead that Imperium Pro Team had, it's completely gone. It's out the window. It's been flipped. And now you're looking at what was a very strong dominant Caitlyn. No, Jason just got plenty of shutdown gold, and he's got a support Lulu. You think that Caitlyn's scary late game? This is going to be an accelerated Vayne with a support that's ready to protect her.
You're going to have shields, you're going to have the Ardent Sensor likely also completed as well. Not going to be a fun time.
IPT made so many crucial mistakes there. First, forcing that inner turret without backup was silly. They had so much vision to spot out the rest of JPV rotating, and 1, Tyson and Marky didn't realize we should disengage before Nini gets in range. 2, none of the IPT members that were towards the river and on the top side of the map also rotated over to cover them. That was mistake number 1. Then they lost a couple players in a trade. That was fine. It was a 1-for-1 trade. Should have just disengaged them. They stuck around. They kept looking for fight after fight. And JPV, of course, yeah, sure. They're going to take every single fight that IPT give to them when they're at a disadvantage.
In the end there, now sitting on 7 kills, has more gold than the Caitlyn. Also finished the Rage Blade, now has the QSS also completed in case they get caught out by possibly this Morgana snare or even a Cocoon or something along those lines. Also likely going to have Mikhail's. It's going to be protect the Jason comp.
It's still not in favor of JPV just yet. Yes, Vayne is going to be very scary with this Rage Blade fork ready to go. But IPT still have a very strong team fighting comp right now. LeBlanc hasn't gotten ahead. Lee Sin hasn't gotten ahead yet. And Irelia is fairly on par with Renekton right now. So it's not the end of the world for IPT, but they can't keep making those mistakes. This was mistake 1. They should have backed out long before this. They had the vision to spot out these players coming in. Ignoring the results of this fight, Tyson trades against Nini. Morgana is able to escape. This is where IPT should have gone, all right, let's get the heck out of here. All right, let's take blue buff and get the heck out of here. What's this? Why are they still there? They know that Bless just came in to try and assassinate Morgana once. Why is Orianna rotating around towards the Tri-Brush? Why are they not getting the heck out of dodge and disengaging as a team?
Forces out those summoners, have to use it carelessly. On top of that, sure, you maybe get Bless in the back of that pit, but Jason's picking up kills.
And showing how strong the Vayne is now.
Just stands there.
Heal, barrier, Lulu ultimate, Lulu shield. It's near impossible now to deal with Jason. Again, they still have the team fighting composition ready to go on the side of IPT, but Jason's going to be a late game monster. Point and click CC is great to try and lock down Vayne, but reliably in the late game, hitting a Morgana binding or an Elise Cocoon onto a Vayne during a full team fight is difficult. They're looking at Renekton to surprise him with a flash stun and then a shockwave to follow up in order to make this work for them. However, saying that again, IPT still have a team fighting team composition. They could still potentially look for a team fight in a matter of minutes. They're not out of this game just yet.
Looks like we're still in our pause, so we're going to go ahead and still take ourselves back to the caster desk. We don't have too much more of that replay to look at because it's just a little sad for IPT.
Yeah, IPT making a whole bunch of mistakes there. And again, they played it so well because JPV started giving them free things. They gave away the 2 kills at Dragon, which meant IPT could take mid lane in a turret, bottom lane in a turret. Then they went to try and push for the top lane in a turret, and that's what we set up. Once you take down the 3 outer turrets that early into the match, it's always where you can separate the teams that understand the Caitlyn Morgana strategies and the teams that don't. Because the teams that understand Caitlyn Morgana know that that's the hardest objective to push for. That's where teams frequently make mistakes, trying to overforce those turrets without the correct backup. Now, I liked that IPT pushed for that top lane inner because there was no response coming out from JPV. Caitlyn could set up traps. Difficult to try and pincer them there. They had the correct vision to do it too. What I don't like is the rest of the team was not on the same page. Nobody was trying to back them up in time. Nobody was cutting them off as they rotated over. It was very disappointing to watch. So even though they're able to get the first 2 inner turrets and eventually they got the 3rd as well, that was actually where JPV came back. Now the goal is dead even. Still in favor of IPT. They've got the superior team fighting composition. I'm not gonna lie, I think that this is still IPT's game to win. But at the same time, they've taken 6 turrets down. JPV have taken 1 or 2 turrets now with mid lane falling. So if another fight goes in favor of JPV, that's going to be all the turrets falling, and suddenly you have from what is now an even game to a 6,000-7,000 goal lead to JPV. They just need to find that next team fight, and it's going to drastically swing in their favor.
Yeah, because a lot of that early gold that IPT were able to get was from those turrets.
Exactly.
Getting those turret plates very early on, well, that means there's still a bunch of freestanding gold on the map here for JPV. And for IPT, like you mentioned, they still do feel like they are going to be, you know, in the lead for the game, obviously. But it is kind of going to get back into their head because if they're able to get this, if they're able to take this victory, they sit very pretty at the top of their group. They're 3-0. You lose this one, have a little bit of doubt going on into your next week here where you lost out to JPV and you might have to play out a tiebreaker. The issue, too, also, for JPV, if they're able to take this victory and they end up having a tiebreaker scenario, then they know that they can take it down IPT because they make issues.
Yeah. So we're still in a pause at the moment. Hopefully we'll be able to get back into the game shortly. Still waiting for the teams to unpause the game. And like you said, if they have to play that tiebreaker match, it's Archangels they're looking at. They didn't even look fantastic against Archangel. They looked all right. But it wasn't a resounding victory coming out from IPT. That could have gone Archangel's way. So they need a win here against JPV.
We're going to go ahead and get back into the game. IPT going to be sitting only 300 gold ahead. Baron buff secured by JPV. The question's now, what are they going to be able to do with it? First tier tower still stands here. In top lane, down to about half health. Mid lane, just a sliver of health.
Island Sensor picked up, QSS picked up for Jason. Man, if LeBlanc had a somewhat better early game, if Nini was able to get a couple of plays going on the top side, this would very clearly be JPV's game to play. It's all in the hands of Jason, and it has been for most of this match as well.
They can make a play. Tower takes a little bit of damage. You look though, for IPT, for a team that has taken all the outer tier towers, their enemy's jungle is pitch dark. There's one lone control ward.
That's it.
They feel so afraid to move past this river line now. They can tell that their confidence has been shaken.
So that's all 3 outer turrets taken down now with the use of the Baron buff.
Swings gold lead now to JPV.
JPV now with the gold lead as well. I think because Lee Sin is so far behind though, again, the team, when it comes down to a team fight, you've got to give it to IPT's competition. Yeah, Lisa's not the best team fighter as well, but she's got a decent gold for herself. You've got Azonius for herself. That's burst damage. Lee Sin's really needing you're going to need to get in there and get a good kickoff before Caitlyn pumps 2 or 3 shots into it. Because once 2 or 3 auto attacks come out, Lee Sin's health is going to be next to none. Phantom Dancer being picked up as well, making it difficult to kill Marquis.
Let's see here. Baron buff has dissipated, so we got Baron joining us once again in 2 minutes. We also going to have ourselves an Elemental Drake also join in about 10 seconds early. See which element we're going to be dealing with here. Not as important, though, as the Baron.
There we go.
Oh, it's Mountain.
Mountain.
Not too bad. Feel like you'd, at this point in the game, you'd like a Mountain, but you'd like it in Fur. Where's Belts?
Oh, he's been flanked.
Caught out. Gets the stun there onto Tyson. Going to keep on going, though, as there was a bunch of collapse. There was everything used. Shockwave's going to connect Vanguard's edge. Look at top lane, though. That's going to be an instant call from Jason and them to try and force this top lane down. See if anybody from IPT can try and answer.
What a confident Cocoon coming out from Elise as well. That was, there was minions around. Yes, Renekton already got the stun, but just confidently nails the Cocoon right after the stun comes out from Renekton. Picks up the kill, but at the same time, JPV are getting the upper hand. That's a kill trader for an inner turret. As you mentioned during the pause, plenty of freestanding gold for JPV to pick up any time IPT give them the chance to do so. That was yet another opportunity. They went for a pick bot lane, which is great, but what did they get for it? Nothing. Now, Spelt's going to come back alive and say, all right, I'm just going to run straight towards the next objective. My teleport's up if I have to teleport somewhere, and we took another inner turret for that.
Things coming out here from IPT. They're going to try and maybe find themselves a pick in toward the bot side jungle. Sonic Wave going to connect. Still, though, multiple members of the team.
Oh, they got it. That should be
Oh, they got him. Cocoon as well. The stun's going to land. They keep on going in, but Bless from behind tries to go. And now the Shockwave not going to hit anyone here. Spelts is able to find themselves a kill. Jason is still alive and keep pressing on forward. Goes in for the tumble. Gets himself a triple kill.
It's over.
That's it.
They can end the game. If they went down middle, I believe that's game over, but they're going to take the safe route and go towards Baron. This is now JPV's game. It's almost impossible for them to lose. So many mistakes happened from IPT in that fight. First and foremost, they weren't confident in being able to kill Lee Sin. That, as soon as that binding hit, that should have been immediately Cocoon, Renekton, the kitchen sink, the fire truck, everything just right in their face, killing them. That was a dead Lee Sin right there. Second problem is Orianna was not in a position there to get a good shockwave off.
Ended up using it to nothing. Actually, I think she got killed before it even went off.
Shockwave animation started and immediately Orianna got killed. There was no reason for Orianna to be in a position to be taken down that quickly. Sure, you tell me Renekton, Elise, Morgana, if these 3 champions were in a spot to be taken down, I understand. They are part of your point-and-click CC comp. Caitlyn, as well as Orianna, this late in the game, should not be that far forward where Bless and Jason can flank them.
On top of that, it's going to be a Mountain Drake secured by JPV. 28.5 minutes, and now you guessed it, pretty close, Fish. Almost a 7,000 gold lead. Spear going to go ahead, clear out the jungle where they can onto those wolves, but still pretty much an empty jungle to even look at the moment. There's nothing they can really do. They're going to have to tunnel. They're going to have to just turtle at these choke points.
Unfortunately, it's going to take a miracle for IPT to now come back into the match. Because look at Vayne. Vayne's got a redemption being picked up by Lulu with an ardent sensor, heal barrier as well.
We also saw during that last fight, humbled in toward the enemy team.
Oh yeah,
because it's at that point they won't be able to kill her.
Double life steal items as well, Bork as well as Mercurial Scimitar. It's near impossible for anyone to lock him down. And again, this is a point-and-click crowd control composition. There is nothing that IPT can lock down Vayne with anymore. The only thing they could do is hard crowd control from the maybe Orianna hitting a good shockwave. Or potentially Caitlyn somehow getting a couple of shots off. So it's pretty much over. Renekton's going to try and go in the bottom lane. Tyson takes way too much damage from Lee Sin as well as Irelia, and that's a dead Crocodile. Interior Crocodile Alligator completely gone. Bless is going to try and continue pushing forward. Jason's taking out the top lane inhibitor as well. That's all the inhibitors gone. Teleport just for funsies in towards the base as well. Oh no, he teleported home. Spells is actually a troll. He's going back to base. Now he's going to teleport in. Opal, this is game.
Yeah, Nexus towers are going to be started up here. Almost getting blessed there on toward the side. It doesn't matter, though. The main focus is this Nexus. Jason even tumbling past the Shockwave. Wants to finish off the members, but the Nexus will fall before he can. And just like that, JPV are going to be able to take home the victory after, you know, IPT. It really felt like they should have won that.
Yep. Unfortunately, they fell where so many teams that run the Caitlyn Morgana comp fall at the inhibitor turret. Sorry, the inner turrets. That is the most difficult part about the Caitlyn Morgana composition, because playing that composition to take down the outer turrets is easy. You see it in solo queue all the time. Taking all these outer turrets down with a very strong bottom lane is super easy. It's one of the best ways for AD carries to climb the solo queue ladder, by playing someone that can push, taking down turrets, go top lane, take that, rinse and repeat. The problem where all these players face difficulty is at the inner turrets, because it's too deep into enemy territory. That's where your bruisers, your Lee Sins, your tanks can find great initiation, because it's so close towards their base. You have so much distance to cover to get away, and it's difficult to get good vision down.
Go ahead and take a look back at that. They get that cocoon and everything, but it just doesn't feel like they're confident.
Not confident. LeBlanc as well with a fantastic flank there. So was Jason. They had such a good position. In fact, I feel like in that situation, Orianna and Caitlyn should either not enter that area, or they should have been there when the binding started to throw out the ultimate straight on top. Just take out Lee Sin right away. Kill him, and then hopefully the 4-on-5 works for them. But by that point in time, a little bit too deep into enemy territory, knowing that it's completely even game now. So IPT, they came so close, but JPV with a great comeback. They were very calm as well in that comeback too. You can see it. Nini on the Lee Sin didn't get much done. The solo laners were being penalized quite heavily. Only Irelia was really able to push Renekton into the turret. Bless was doing everything he possibly could against Orianna, but not able to get much done. So it was a difficult situation. But when the turret started falling, the only mistake that we really saw JPV make was trying to steal that Cloud Dragon, which to their credit, they stole.
Yeah, they did. He did actually secure it in the end. They did lose out, though, on 2 members, and they lost that second tier. And like you mentioned, that was the crux of that composition. It was the second tier tower take.
But the call there in the final inner turret to, all right, we're fighting, was brilliant. Blessed with the great flanks, great assassination potential. Nini jumping with the kick. Yeah, he kicked Marky to safety, and I said that was a big micro mistake. They still traded 1-for-1 at the very end. They killed Tyson, and then they continued with the follow-up fight and killed the rest of the team taking Baron. That's what you want to see. You know, mistakes can be made, micro mistakes happen all the time, but the main goal there, to break this composition, you need to stop them at one of your inner turrets, and they did so successfully.
Fortunately there for Imperium, not able to go for a perfect 3-0 week to start things off here in the national qualifiers. They still do sit, though, 2-1, so they will be either first or tied for the group.
Yeah, but at the same time, Archangel is going to breathe a heavy sigh of relief today.
Oh.
They're going to see, wow, IPZ actually dropped their game to JPV. Now they can, you know, sit back, breathe a little, and hope that, you know, coming back again, they can try and pick up a win.
Yeah, because especially they're currently in their game against Royal Zone over on our other stream, so that game might be finished off.
I think that game is done now.
I think all our games are done. That was our final game of the night. Yeah, I think it's done there.
I don't know what the result was. That happened during our last match, so not too sure who won that game, but I have to find out, see if Archangel, you know, now 2-1, they'll be pretty happy. And basically that means Archangel still have a shot at this, especially if they're 2-1 now. And they have a chance again to upset Imperium Pro Team. Again, you kind of see today how this was one of the professional teams in the region. Imperium Pro Team been in the Philippines region for the longest time, but you can also see why they were a shadow of their former self. Don't quite have the same consistency as they used to have coming into competitive games.
We'll have to see. Again, maybe it's that break. Maybe it's just those first week jitters after the online qualifier. Come into the national qualifier and you say, all right, we had our first week. Let's try and regroup. Now they'll have 7 days to try and resort themselves, get themselves set up for, of course, next Wednesday, where we'll be continuing our Philippines action. And then we have our Indonesia. We're going to be starting up here tomorrow.
And maybe JPV, you know, they found Jason. the prodigy Vayne
There you
player in the
go.
bottom lane. You know, substituted in the final match of the day. Took away Marquis Jason as well. The man that got the first pentakill in the spring split of the C Tour. Just has his champion ripped from underneath him. And gets styled on by Jason as well. Styled on.
Yeah, they did dominate that lane, though. Like, they did play the lane very well.
What do you expect?
I know. But still, it's
It's
like...
Caitlyn Morgana. You're
Bro.
going to get smacked for the first 15 minutes.
You're just not going to be able to play League of Legends.
And then you tumble into people's faces at the very end and you go, you know what? That's for the early game. That's for what happened in the mid game. And then you sit him upright and say, you know what? Now that we're in the late game, you can sit back. You can relax. And just watch as all your turrets are taken from the land that you own.
You sit there,
You just sit and
contemplating
watch.
your existence. MVP, going to go on over to Jason. 11, 1, and 4 with almost 90% kill participation.
Yeah, pretty well played from JPV. A few mistakes made here and there, but at the end of the day, they knew what they had to do to come back into it. They made those decisions. Disappointed with IPT's macro play at the very end of the day because not much macro involved there. But he deserves man of the match. 11, 1, and 4.
I'm going to assume also a ton of damage.
Tons of damage.
Tons of damage. You have a Rage Blade. You have Phantom Dancer.
Yeah, a 6-item Vayne with a Lulu support.
You're just going to do a little bit of damage.
Didn't
a little
do
bit.
much, guys, today. Jason. Yeah.
Of course, so we're also going to take likely a look at our final standings. Coming into the end of the week. So we'll have that up for you guys in just a moment.
Yeah, and then tomorrow the Indonesian broadcast is going to start. We'll be taking a break. Our Bahasa Indonesian casters will be taking over for the next 2 days. But here are the standings.
Okay, the gap going to be at the top with a 3-0. GHS going to be coming in with a 2-1, and Tiger and Royal currently down toward the bottom here. But that was the important one. It is a tied 2-1 in Group D when it comes to Imperium and Arc. So that's going to be a big one. Actually, JPV also are tied. We have a 3-way tie in Group D and Group C.
You ready for those tiebreakers next week?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Because the tiebreakers are all played on one day. We'll be here till 4 o'clock.
Oh, boy. So, yeah, you guys will be able to check that out. This is, of course, going to be next week, week 2, day 1. We're going to start things off here. We'll see 2 matches from Group A and B, and then 1 match.
Week.
Yeah, next week.
Next week's matches that we play for the Filipinos qualifiers, and tomorrow we